Hey Film Buffs, welcome back to Film Feature 43. Today I want to cap off my Scream 2022 trilogy of videos with talking about what I think is going to happen in the future of Scream 2024 or Scream Origins or Scream 6 or whatever they decide to call the future films. I have a scene in this film that really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, kind of timeline-wise and spacing-wise, but I think that I can kind of explain it and make it make sense if they go a certain way in the future. So it's my theory of why they put this scene in the film to begin with, other than suspense. I'm going to be talking about Scream 2022 a lot, so there's going to be spoilers. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it and then come back. Again, this is just my theory. I haven't seen anything confirmed anywhere or even talking about this. So if you think I'm right, you think I'm wrong, let me know down below. And if you have any theories of where you would like the series to go or where you think it's going to go, also leave them down below, because I think it's interesting to see what you guys think. Without further ado, let's start talking about the scene in question. That scene is the scene where Sam is in a busy hospital inside of a break room in the middle of broad daylight, and she's attacked by Ghostface. The reason I think this is kind of odd is the fact that, one, nobody sees Ghostface in this heavily guarded and occupied wing of the hospital, leave the back entrance to the break room, and Richie and Amber both kind of have alibis for where they were at the time of this attack. Richie was in the room, and he's not out of breath, he's not sweaty, like he just got kicked into a table and tried to stab somebody 20 times and had to rush out and change out of a Ghostface costume. And Amber was talking to the police. So there's either one of two things happening here. The first thing is, and I don't think it's as likely, there's a third killer that hasn't been revealed to us yet that's going to be revealed down the line. And the reason I say I don't think it's as likely is because somebody still would have seen that Ghostface leaving the back room of the break room. What I actually think, and what my theory is for whatever to go down the road, is that Sam actually hallucinated this whole thing, and she really wasn't attacked in that break room. She just kind of imagined that she was. I think this is going to lead us to a point in one of the films where it's revealed that Sam is the killer of one of the films coming down the line, and she doesn't realize that she's doing it. Kind of like the 2009 remake of My Bloody Valentine, but in a more meta sort of way, poking fun at those type of movies. This scene kind of creates a problem with the film storyline for the reasons that I've mentioned, and it's similar to the Ghostface that stalks Sidney around Woodsboro in the first film when Billy and Stu are both at the video store. I see this talked about a lot where fans think that Roman is a third Ghostface in the original film, or Billy's mom for some reason, or a third person we never found out who it was. I think this creates sort of a similar problem where both killers really, I don't think, could have pulled off this attack. Her psychosis could lead her to having Billy kind of control her in the future, because Billy can't keep being this good guy, Jiminy Cricket-esque character that's just giving her advice on catching these serial killers. The Billy Loomis that we know, it would really undercut how crazy...
Actually, you prefer the term psychotic.
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting. How psychotic he was in the first movie if he keeps coming back as this sort of guiding force in Sam's life. I mean, I guess it could be how she perceives him, but I just can't see making him the good guy in her mind when we all know what he did, and she knows what he did in the franchise up to this point. I think it is possible that Richie was messing with her medicine. I mean, he knew she was taking medicine for a psychosis. He knew that she had psychosis to begin with, so he could possibly be messing with her meds to give her these psychotic breaks, and that's why we see her popping the pills throughout the film, but she keeps seeing her dead father, so the pills don't really seem to be working. I guess that could be normal for her to see her father even when she's on her pills, and that's why she doesn't seem alarmed by it. But it just seems really odd to me that they call out that Richie knows she's taking medicine, and we see him tamper with somebody else's medicine in order to trap them in his Ghostface elaborate plot. I think what they should do is put Gale and Sidney on the back burner for Scream 6, and if you really want to have them back and have a good send-off for them, or even emotional send-off for them, have them come back back in Scream 7 called a Ghostface. Don't get me wrong, I love Sidney, I love Gale, and I even love Dewey for that matter, but anytime you bring them in now, since especially they killed off Dewey, I feel like they're going to feel like they have to kill off one of the legacy characters to make it seem like the film has consequences. What they could do in the next film, just to kind of let it breathe and stop holding the fans' hands to say these are in the same storylines, is maybe have Mindy be the loose callback to Randy in these films and let us know that we're still in Woodsboro, that's still the same kind of storyline, but the legacy characters aren't going to be there to hold our hands. The internet, from what I see, is in a consensus that if they bring any character back from the previous films, they should bring back Hayden Panettiere's Kirby from Scream 4 to kind of tie that film into these newer ones, because you didn't really get a lot of mention of Scream 4 or 3 for that matter in Scream 2022. So maybe having Kirby come back, even though I think officially she's dead, you could retcon that, have her come back. She was extremely well acted, and she could bounce off Mindy's character a lot more. In my opinion, I don't think Mindy had a lot of characters that she could bounce her meta-ness off of, and so some of the quips and some of the jokes kind of fell flat. But if Kirby was there, I think it would be a good sounding board for each of them going back and forth. Give us the Call to Billy and Stu, or kind of give us a Psycho homage with the voice of Mother being in Sam's head.
They'll see. They'll see and they'll know, and they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
I guess in this case it'd be the voice of Father in her head, but all in all, I just want to see something different, something we haven't seen before. We've seen the movies Made Me Did It a couple different times. We've seen the revenge plots a couple different times. I just want to see something that's poking fun at the old while bringing us something new, and in the end, I think that's what Scream's all about. So that's my theory for where I think it's going to go. We're eventually going to shift away from Sam being the main character to Tara being the main character, and having Sam actually end up being the bad guy, with kind of seeing her process of turning into that bad guy as we go on. And I'm still holding out hope for the Call to Billy and Stu to get multiple Ghostface killers, to give multiple surprises throughout the film where you think maybe the Ghostface is dead, and it turns out there's actually 2, 3 more. So that's kind of where I think we're going. Let me know, like I said, down below what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.